Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by a healthy, albeit shameful, help and pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably card knowledge.
And more.
And more. Now, for today's topic, Locke, I want to talk about having something to look forward to. So this one's kind of complicated. It's something that I go through often.
You're right. Sounds complicated.
Yeah. Everything I go through is complicated. But okay, here's what it is, right? There's a lot of people out there that suffer from things like, depression and anxiety, and it's often having to do with uncertainties or dwelling on the past.
Wait, did you just get a hold of my journal?
No, okay, so this is the thing, right? I've suffered myself from depression. It's taken me a long time to try to find ways to cope with the way I think. So it's not necessarily being able to just completely ignore things from the past, that make you depressed, or the uncertainties of the future that make you anxious. Like, that stuff is ever present, right? There's no getting around that. And I know there's, you could see psychiatrists and whatnot that'll help you.
Too expansive.
Yeah, that's true. But they'll attempt to help you to find a new outlook, I suppose, or they'll help you to get things off your chest, that will maybe discourage you from dwelling on those things. But what I found, something that kind of subdues those issues, right, is having something to look forward to. I know there's things like, like big trips, right, that people often opt for, like, going more on vacations and just letting loose and leaving, their world behind and going and exploring, going on an adventure, things like that. But some of us, like myself, can't afford such luxuries. But what I do is try to find creative endeavors to look forward to. And it's constant. I've often, said on multiple episodes where I've had a multitude of interests, right? And it's not necessarily because I just always am interested in things. It's just that I like to have something to look forward to. And when I don't have something to look forward to the next day, or something to pursue the next day or the week after and things like that, without these like goals in mind that I've been trying to set for myself, I often find myself staying up at night. It'll keep me up at night, and I'll get into those, those depressive episodes. It's deeply troubling, and like I can't stand it. And I know there's like medications and what have you to help with those things, but I myself, I don't like those medications because, I had been on them in the past. A psychiatrist put me on a lot of medications, for my depression and anxiety, but I stopped seeing the psychiatrist because I didn't like, for me personally, I'm not saying that it's, a waste of money or anything. I'm just saying it's for me, it wasn't working the way I had hoped it would. It wasn't my magic pill, as it were.
Ah, that was the problem. You didn't have the magic pill.
but yeah, I would go there and I would talk to him about my problems, and he would give suggestions and things for me to do, but none of it helped, none of it was effective, and he gave me a lot of medications to take. But then one day I just cut it all off, and I said, I need to find something for me.
And you said, listen here, Doc. Shut the fuck up. I don't want any of what you're selling me.
No, I found something that works for me. Like, I can't say this will work for everyone, but it's worked for me personally, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And it's helped me to live, a life with what I think is higher quality than what I had before, where like I'm pursuing creative interests constantly and trying to gain skills in particular things or pursuing things with friends and and kind of like showing it off here and there. Things like social media, right? Like I know for the most part social media is, it's kind of poison.
Yeah, no, it's straight up cancer.
But I do appreciate that little subsection of social media where, it's just people pursuing interests, being artistic and making these creations and like just showing off their work, and getting that feedback from people like saying, like, oh, that's incredible. Can't believe you did that. That's amazing. Or like it'll open up new interests for other people, to try and pursue those things. I love that little pocket of social media. I really enjoy it. Because like I've gained a lot of inspiration in the past from seeing those things on social media, and I try to avoid everything else in social media, like all the the show offy stuff with like showing off their people's money and whatnot and their nice things, and people telling you like how you should live or the kind of person you should be and blah blah blah. Like I hate that stuff. So I stay away from that, and I try to, just look at people being creative and pursuing their artistic interests. It's an amazing thing to see, and it's something that I love. I don't use social media to show it off. Mostly, it's just amongst friends, or I've done some things on YouTube, to show off my little interests that I've had. But all in all, when I'm going to sleep at night, the thing that puts me to sleep is I have this thing. I have this creative interest, and tomorrow I'm going to work on it some more. I have something to look forward to. And it always helps me to rest easy at night, having that thing. Do you have something that you like to look forward to at the end of the night, or maybe even the end of the week? Some people just look forward to getting off work at the end of the week, and just having a weekend to relax.
What brings me comfort is a nice warm blanket and some melatonin to help me sleep.
All right.
Fair enough. I don't know. So some days are worse than others. I have my good days and bad days. I feel like we all do. When I stay up late, that's when it messes with me for the next couple of days, because then I've got to try to get my body back on track.
A routine actually helps a lot of people.
Routine does help.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have strayed so much from that routine.
Yeah.
So
no, I get that.
I think since you and I had been talking about doing this podcast, you and I would stay up 4-6 o'clock in the morning, my time. That's when I had just an absolutely mess of a sleep schedule.
This little podcast that we have, it's been amazing. It's something we agreed that we wanted to try out, right? And what I would think it's kind of insignificant, right? Where it's like we only put like a couple of days into it a week, but it's still like a creative process. It takes skill to do all the editing, the artwork and things like that. And it's been satisfying, like, especially like giving myself things to accomplish during the week, like just going through editing episodes and then posting them on YouTube and whatnot, and getting things lined up and staying on a schedule. It's given me a sense of routine and a little bit of a creative expression. So it's been very satisfying doing this, and and we've stuck to it for what? How long has it been? Maybe almost 2 years now.
I don't know. Maybe not quite 2 years yet.
Yeah, maybe a year and a half. Okay, but we've always stayed on schedule, and we've always been able to reconvene even when life gets in the way. We still have like this non-negotiable where it's like we got to get this done. And we still have found ways to come together and push out these episodes and And even though it has no, monetary benefit to us, it's still something that we're expressing ourselves creatively and coming up with topics to talk about, pushing out, something that we're satisfied at least with, not necessarily proud of, but satisfied with. And then and we've kept to that, and that's given me a sense of comfort. Absolutely. Especially when we start chatting about different projects that we want to do within this, thing that we've built here. Like that gives me something to look forward to, like brainstorming or developing new interests as an extension of that. Like even with the Tavern Tales episodes that we did that we put on the channel, like that was just something that I wanted to do something. I thought it'd be super cool, and so I just did all that myself on the side, and that was really satisfying. And then it was quite a bit of work that I put into it, and it wasn't necessarily sustainable because it was a time hog. But it was still fun, and I'm still satisfied with it, and I'm proud of it, and I'm glad so many people got so much enjoyment out of it. Especially like close friends and what have you that have checked it out, and they've, they thought it was cool, so they passed it on to their friends, and they thought it was cool, and that has been amazing. The result of all that.
I think doing the projects like that has really helped with me as far as the being like, what, I really do want to see this. I want to try something new. Let's try this. Now I've been trying to get on you about maybe recording a big old thing of Sea of Thieves and have more video, not just your video, but my video or whoever might also be on the crew at the time.
Yeah, so you definitely wanted to push out more gameplay videos, which I love it. Like it was a lot of fun editing that stuff.
Here's where the butt comes out. Listen for the butt.
But
there it is.
Yeah, okay. So it was a lot of fun. Like I'll give you that. When we did the Medieval Dynasty videos, right? Those were a lot of fun. A lot of people enjoyed those. My editing software isn't so good. I had a lot of trouble, admittedly, publishing those videos because it was a lot. But they came out great. They took a while to make. Unfortunately, I think if we want to delve down that route, might need to upgrade the old editing software. Unfortunately, because holy crap. Like the amount of crashes that I got was just, whoa. Yeah, that was a lot to deal with. But, I made it work with the little that I had. And I'm definitely willing to, do it again and delve down that route a little bit more and see where it goes. And like just considering us doing that, does get me excited. I'm excited for the end product, and I want to pursue it. Trying to figure out the best way in which to accomplish it is all.
So this is where we get the audience to really coax Merle into updating his software and continuing on with this project that we enjoy. Twist his arm.
I'm trying to figure out like the best software which to use. I know like Adobe makes some good stuff, but I think they're like subscription based. I'm like, oh, that sounds expensive. I don't even know how much that cost. I'll just have to look into it, I suppose.
Yep, look into it, or if anybody in the audience has any ideas as to software.
Yeah, recommendations for software. That would be helpful. Or, I guess I could just go onto like Reddit or something and see. We'll figure something out, I'm sure. But we've talked about like doing more stuff, especially like you want to do like more gaming stuff. I love the whole storytelling aspect and like finding a way in which finding something a way for those to coincide, those two interests, like we did with Medieval Dynasty, where we were doing gameplay videos, but I was like, we should be like in character, right? Where we stay in character and we create this story together, even though none of it's planned, like none of that was planned out. It was just us kind of riffing it for the most part. Like we had generally what we were gonna do, and then we just riffed it from there. You could probably tell from the amount of mumbling and trying to figure things out. But I feel like I cut and edited it enough for it to be cohesive and somewhat humorous, and not too much downtime in between. It was a lot of fun, and I am looking forward to delving into that more and creating more of these stories to tell. Whether they'll probably all try to be more on the humorous side. That's just what we enjoy doing. Like, trying to make people laugh is very satisfying. I mean, we'll see where this takes us. It'll definitely help with my sanity, at least. Pursuing these creative goals, ambitions. Yeah, I mean, we'll see where we go from here, eh? Thank you for joining us on the Merle and Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Merle and Locke, or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.